Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to Munich for today's daily challenge. Samurai Sam drops a crab rave. We will have buildings appear directly adjacent to destinations, and we'll start with 5 motorways. That is all we get. Sam gave us a crab rave. Thank you, Sam. Sam was also here first. Samurai Sam hitting all the buttons this morning. Sunflare Space is here as well. Good afternoon, Sunny. There's a very meowy cat named Nora. Hi, Nora. Do you have something to meow for yourself? Nora did a sad thing earlier. She made a carpet puke. Not a fan of carpet puke, but, you know, it happens. She's a cat. She's also doing that thing where her eyelids are slightly out of timing when she blinks, so for a second I thought she winked at me as soon as I talked about her carpet puke. It's not a thing. Cat did not actually wink at me. She's just blink funny. It's fine. Ow. This is all fine. We got these 2 blues. They'll come over here. This nice, simple, straight orange road. This game's easy at the beginning. Oh. I've had a terrible realization this morning. I kind of feel sick. Which, just in general, bad. Not a fan. Achy, coffee, stuffed up. Stuff hurts. Could just be, you know, getting up. Oh, big stretch. Hold, please. Cat. Cat, do not. No, I need those. Nora, no, that's not a toy. Now, I realize it's crinkly plastic, but inside the crinkly plastic are drain augers. Yeah, I need to auger my drains, Cat. God! Cat does not appreciate that it's gonna need to auger my drains. Alright. Now then. We've had this orange road spawn. Need to auger my drain. It's a true fact, I do. These oranges are gonna run over this way. We're gonna reposition these oranges such that they run like so. And then you go there. And then this purple comes along and overfucks everything. Awesome. We'll use motorway number 1 for them just until we get a bridge. Another bridge. Because I'm not separating these oranges, even though I probably could. Like we toss, and we go over here, and we go maybe down this road and then traffic light there. I mean, that would make sense, but 1B, 1R. It's the fabric of our souls or something. I don't know. Well, I definitely want to kill motorway number 1. Feel like, yeah, the thing to do is we can either go around like this or around like this, and just drawing it out with the mouse, it feels like this is shorter. Could actually count that, but nonsense. Yeah, this is going to use fewer road tiles than if I was to go the longer way around here. Okay. It is Thursday, and by dint of the laws of the universe, that means we're talking about AEW Dynamite? I don't know. I hope I'm not actually sick too, Sam. I'm starting to doubt that, but we'll see. It's possible. I could just be tired. I slept really... I'm hesitant to say well, given that I may have woken up sick, but I slept really deeply last night, which is good. until you get accustomed to waking up for the first time at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you wake up for the first time and you're like, oh, I can still luxuriate in bed for an hour or so here. And then it's 6:20 and your alarm is going off. So, smallish problem. Let's take ourselves a bridge just so we don't absolutely have to use a motorway when the situation comes up. And then, ew. Well, this is gross. Yeah, I don't see a way around it. We're just gonna have to do a blue and white road. These two together will share some pavement, because there's no way to get these blues up and out of here in such a way that allows the whites to sneak in undisturbed. So we're just gonna have to disturb them. It's fine. Sometimes whites need to be disturbed. It's kind of the ethos of the Black Power movement. Probably shouldn't make that joke. Anyway, let's see here. These white houses are going to swing around and down in a manner very similar to this. Yeah, that sounds right. That seems confeasible. Closed my eyes to take a drink of soda, and I just heard the circle sound, and I was like, oh no. But it was this orange guy. And this orange going circular is not the end of the world. Oh, let's take... Ow. I'm pretty good on road for the moment. Give me a roundabout. Now, if I have a roundabout here, could I roundaboutize? Not really. If I roundabout these blues and whites, could also round it. Not loving that. Just like as a concept, and now the presence of this pink is making it even more. Yeah, because what we'd have to do is like have a blue road and a white road that comes to say here, and then one spur goes southwest to this business, one spur goes northwest, sneaks around down this way, the other spur goes also northwest and sneaks around down this way, and I don't actually think that's better than what we presently have. So for the moment, I'm fairly content with what we presently have. Would have been more content if these pinks didn't spawn on the opposite edge of the map from their destination house, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Hey, speaking of absolutely fine, there was an episode of AEW Dynamite last night, and it was probably a little bit better on average than absolutely fine, I guess. So last week on Dynamite, MJF won the International Championship, and tonight he decided to play the jingoistic American heel, which is good. It's good that those are characters that can exist now, and it's also good that he only got very brief USA chants, which were quickly drowned out with boos. So that's also a good thing. He brought out a truly, an impressively awful looking new championship for the AEW International title. But the good news is there's a pay-per-view coming up in England in like a month, and Will Ospreay is from England, so it would make sense at least that all of this is to put heat and hatred upon Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, such that the local boy can do good and beat him to get his belt back. The fact that they invested this much money in a well-crafted vanity title for this short-lived heel title reign makes me wonder how short-lived the heel title reign's gonna be. But it's not my money. It's Tony Khan's money. A large chunk of which may also be Warner Brothers Discovery's money, depending on how much you believe the rumors that they've come to a deal in principle on a new television contract, which, okay, fine. Like, you see, the thing is, WBD is run by an evil, stupid person, and it's always interesting trying to decide if they're doing something because their CEO is evil or because their CEO is stupid. So, yeah, that's always the question with well, there are good folks at that company, and then there are the folks who run it. But I digress. Sam asks if there's a better feeling in the world than when Fortunate Spawns means you can suddenly, reincorporate 1B, 1R, as we've done with these blue houses here, or get rid of a very long and stupid road. I mean, listen, it feels nice. I would be happy if some pinks were to be along here. Ow. Let's take ourselves another bridge. We've still got all 5 of the motorways with which we started, but they are a precious and limited resource, so should be careful with how we deploy them. Speaking of being careful with how we deploy things, nope, actually, hold on. Let's see here. So, these white houses are going to jump down here, service this white circle. That's going to be fine. I did just say that we had hung on to all 5 of our motorways, but I think it's time to abandon that for just a moment here. Because the alternative is could run these pinks 1 tile further north, and by 1 tile I actually mean 2 tiles. If we go 2 tiles further north with them, we can run them down this way in this manner, like so, which is very long and stupid, but does have the advantage of not using a motorway. So, it's got that and exactly that one good thing going for it. Also, we can tweak our placements such that we get a 4th blue house down to here, and these whites go up and over that, and then these whites go up and over that, and then all of these pinks come 1,000 miles, and, well, that's not great. Let's, we're gonna keep that, and we're gonna chop this, I think. We're gonna do motorway number 1. It slides way the hell down here. Look at how far the hell motorway number 1 has had to go. The 1, 2, 3 of you support that business. You bop up north, join that. Thank you. Ow. Ow, ow. Ow, ow. So yes, last night's episode of Dynamite was pretty good. MJF cut a solid heel promo. Always nice. He's a pro-America heel as they're going into a big pay-per-view at a foreign stadium, and he has a title defense in Mexico soon, so that's cute. And hopefully he loses, because listen, I like Will Ospreay more than I like MJF, and I want the guy I like to win the match between the 2 guys I like. So, it's fine. Speaking of a guy I like who's going to have a match against another guy I like, and I hope the other guy I like wins, Kazuchika Okada has been good and fun in All Elite Wrestling. He has also not been, how do I put this generously to a certifiable legend of the professional wrestling business, he has not been, trying very hard. Let's say that. It appears, and I'm not an expert in any means, but it appears as though Mr. Okada has not been giving his absolute 1000% tippity-tip-top effort every single time he's been in the ring, which, I mean, is fair. That is probably a good thing for any wrestler, let alone one who is in his 30s and not working main event level matches to do. Yeah, quite late 30s, actually. Okada's kind of old. But the point is, it looks like they're building to Okada versus Hangman Adam Page, which it looked like they're building to that they've been building to that for a while, but it looks like they're building to that. And listen, that's not the main event of the pay-per-view at All In, but that's a big fucking deal match. And it should, given that Hangman Adam Page fucking rules and Kazuchika Okada has it within him to fucking rule, that match should, wait for it, fucking rule. So if it doesn't fucking rule, gently worded questions are going to start being asked. I said gently worded. But you know, we're at the point where something needs to either fucking rule or there need to be some gently worded questions regarding the washedness of one Okada. This just introducing the thought that maybe the reason Okada doesn't go very hard is that Okada can't go very hard, and if Okada can't go very hard, then Okada's washed, and it would be bad if AEW had a washed Okada. But, you know, we'll see. This purple business up here is a little bit kerfucky. Just a little bit. Samurai Sam wants to remember Drew Bledsoe. I remember Drew Bledsoe. He was a guy. More specifically, he was the quarterback of the New England Patriots. And for a very long time, he was one of very few good things about the New England Patriots. It was like, yeah, we're bad, and our defense sucks, and nobody can name anybody who catches the ball, but our quarterback's awesome. Especially when you're like tiny baby child, you got a big, strong, tall, throw ball far quarterback. I was a big fan of Drew Bledsoe when the Patriots were terrible. And then the Patriots started getting good, which, as you may have heard, coincided with Drew Bledsoe getting hurt. Which, yeah, they had Vincent Brisby and Terry Glenn for the hour and a half where Terry Glenn was both healthy and competent. You know, they had guys. They had Troy Brown. They had Ben Coates. You know, there were guys. It was just, you know, the best of the guys was the quarterback guy. The quarterback guy was Drew Bledsoe. And the Patriots weren't, you know, actually good. They made the Super Bowl one time. It was fun. They lost. It wasn't terribly close, but, you know, they made the Super Bowl one time. That was neat. Oh, Lord. All right. We got these pinks over here. We'll talk more about Drew Bledsoe in a moment, but we've got these pinks over here. And I think the thing we're going to have to do for right now is extend this already ridiculous road, and do that, turn that into a perfectly cromulent traffic light. And now the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pinks over here are going to be pressed into service to support not one, but 2 businesses. Yeah, Drew Bledsoe was he was not the absolute last by any means, but he was a member of a dying breed, which when he came into the league, nobody realized was a dying breed. The absolute statuesque, completely immobile pocket passer quarterback. Like, Tom Brady was never quick, but, you know, Tom Brady was capable of, like, moving around in the pocket, and every once in a great while he would take off and run, and it wouldn't end in disaster. You know, one time Tom Brady juked Brian Urlacher. I think if Drew Bledsoe tried to juke Brian Urlacher, he would have gotten run over by a bus. A bus named Brian Urlacher. Good morning, Lorem Dew. Oh boy, what are we going to do about this purple house over here? That's a good question. You know what? I think these 4 purples here have brought this purple into reasonable calm downedness. And because of that, we're going to take this road and this bridge back. I'm going to draw this purple up here, have it join that. And then 1, 2, these 3 purples are just going to hop motorway number 4, and they're going to slide up here. We're eventually going to need to either reclaim or deal without these motorways, but for right now, we're just going to We're just going to go up that way. I think this is Munich. That sounds right. It's today's daily challenge, which, again, I'm pretty sure was in Munich. That sounds right, but I could be wrong about stuff. Speaking of being wrong about stuff, people were wrong about stuff when they said that Drew Bledsoe was the best quarterback in the NFL, which is a thing that Patriots fans tried to make happen that never successfully happened. Because, look, Drew Bledsoe was fine. He was great at times. He was also bad at times. He had this nasty little propensity for putting up a really impressive game, and then when the Patriots were down like a touchdown or two in the fourth quarter, he would throw a pick. And listen, when your team's down a touchdown or two in the fourth quarter, you gotta throw the ball. And when you gotta throw the ball, and the defense knows you gotta throw the ball, they're gonna play a good throw the ball defense. And that usually results in interceptions, which show excitement or emotion. They're generally set apart from the sentence by an exclamation point, or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. But I digress into a Schoolhouse Rock joke. Oh boy, we got these blues up here now. There's a problem. It's not great in the general existence and deportment of these blues. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something stupid. It's been a minute since we did something truly and magnificently stupid. I think we're gonna do something truly magnificently stupid. We're gonna put a roundabout in place of this traffic light. We're gonna have a western spur of the roundabout that goes out to this pink business. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something slightly better, but still stupid. We're gonna move motorway number 2 such that it comes up here, services this the northern spur of this double plaza. The western spur then of this roundabout will go straight into this square guy, just as soon as there's a capable square guy there. These blues will come up here like so. Then, so now we've got blues along this road. This is a nice simple travel area. At some point, we're gonna need to, well, I was gonna traffic light, but I realized that it would be a truly terrible traffic light pretty much no matter where I put it. So, double roundabout all the way, I guess. We'll put a roundabout right there. We'll pop it into these blues. Everybody go. This business here is going to get mad until the motorways rearrange themselves, which should happen any minute now, hopefully. Give me a roundabout to replace the 2 roundabouts I just used. Motorway guys, you can fix yourselves like anytime you want. There you go. There you go. Good job. Good job. You're all fixed now. All right. Purple go up that way. Service that business. That'll be fine. This pink is going to catch up. It'll be okay. Blue go up. Blue go up. This blue has immediately gone circular, which is bad. Let's see here. This blue goes that way. We got plenty of blues supporting this, which is good. But, you know, we got blues spawning that want to support this, and they're not because, well, gestures vaguely at everything, which is bad. So the Drew Bledsoe story goes, I feel as though you know the Drew Bledsoe story because the Drew Bledsoe story is the Tom Brady story. One day, some planes hit some towers, and then a few weeks later, the Patriots were playing the Jets. And Drew Bledsoe took off with the ball and ran for it, which is not a thing he usually did. And he got waylaid by a guy named Mo. It hurt him a lot. And while Drew Bledsoe was sidelined, Tom Brady, the backup quarterback who had impressed Bill Belichick, became the quarterback. And he impressed Bill Belichick. And then everyone. And then Drew Bledsoe got healthy, and Bill Belichick was like, hey, Drew, we're winning a bunch of football games, and this guy makes like 1/8 of what you make, so we're going to stick with him. And Drew Bledsoe was not happy about this because, I mean, he was the number one pick in the draft, and he had been the starting quarterback, and he had taken this team to the Super Bowl, and he was generally considered one of the bright spots on the roster and the franchise. And now here he is losing his job because he got hurt and some guy played good. And, well, he wasn't happy about that. Which, I mean, having laid out that series of facts in that order, I understand why Drew Bledsoe wasn't happy about that. Same time, shit happens. It's football. You move on with your life. And to Drew Bledsoe's credit, he mostly moved on with his life. Like, he did his job with the Patriots for the rest of the season. He was the backup quarterback. He did the backup quarterback stuff. One time in the AFC Championship game, Tom Brady got hurt, and it was a nice little bit of a reverse, hey, karma or something. Because Tom Brady gets hurt, and here comes Drew Bledsoe. And he leads the Patriots down the field, and they score a touchdown. And Drew Bledsoe got to throw a touchdown in the AFC Championship game. Good for him. Listen, it was a big fucking deal. That was the AFC Championship game. That was a game against the Steelers. We had no business winning that game. Granted, in retrospect, the Patriots had no business winning any of the playoff games the Patriots were in that postseason. Like we had no business beating the Raiders. We had no business beating the Steelers. We had no business beating the Rams. And yet we beat the Raiders, the Steelers, and the Rams, and we won the Super Bowl. And then we did that like 5 more times? 5 more times. That sounds right. We did that a bunch more times. And they won the Super Bowl, and everybody was happy. And then Drew Bledsoe, you know, he was a very, 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 very expensive backup quarterback who didn't want to be the backup quarterback because he thought he was one of the 30 or so best quarterbacks in football. He probably thought he was one of the 5 or so best quarterbacks in football. And at the time, he was probably one of the 15 or so best quarterbacks in football. So it didn't make sense for anyone to keep Drew Bledsoe around as the backup quarterback. And they certainly weren't going to install him as the starting quarterback again, given that the young, hot, cheap guy had just been the starting quarterback and they won the Super Bowl with him, so they weren't going to get rid of that guy. So listen, it made sense that the Patriots were going to trade Drew Bledsoe, and Drew Bledsoe was going to not be a Patriot anymore, and he wound up playing for the Bills, and he kicked the Patriots' ass the very first game of the season the next year. That was fun. By fun, I mean annoying, but I feel as though I've digressed. Well, the point is, Drew Bledsoe went on to have a halfway decent sunset of his career. He played for the Bills for a while. He played for the Cowboys. It became evident that he was washed. He stopped playing. This happens. This is the good downside of a professional football player's career. So, by the way, 1,482 commuters over 77 days is bad. Doesn't feel great. It's top 30%. It's, oh my God, Sam, numero uno on the earth. You even beat your big, mean, stinky sister. How about that? Good job, Sam. Well done, Samurai Samuel. So Drew Bledsoe, retired, and he went away for a while because, when you get into, the post-football career of the Hall of Very Good Quarterback who's not terribly charismatic, like, if you're a Hall of Very Good Quarterback and you retire, these days you're gonna get a shot because there were like 8 networks with 95 different football analysts. When Drew Bledsoe retired, there were like 4 networks with 18 different football analysts, and he wasn't really talky or chatty or charismatic or interesting enough to be one of those guys, so he didn't become one of those guys. And the moment you don't become one of those guys, you pretty much miss your window. So he missed his window to be a big-time media guy or whatever, but, he made a bunch of money playing football, and he retired, and he went off and did whatever it is that ex-quarterbacks do in their retirement for a while. And nowadays, honestly, he's built a little cottage industry for himself as one of Tom Brady's lackeys. Because, listen, turns out that the guy who replaced Drew Bledsoe turned out to be the best quarterback ever. And then the best quarterback ever retired and decided to try to become a media entity. He's got a production company, and he's going to be the lead analyst on some Fox games and blah, blah, blah. And there was this big Netflix roast. So Drew Bledsoe's made himself a nice little career as one of those guys who shows up at a thing where Tom Brady is. Like Julian Edelman. He's basically just another Julian Edelman. Which, you know, good for you, Drew Bledsoe. I'm glad you're having fun with it. This is basically the exact reaction you're trying to cultivate, is the good for you, Drew Bledsoe. I'm glad you're having fun with it. But, you know, good for Drew Bledsoe. Glad he's having fun with it. I hope he's getting a lot of money. He's probably getting a pittance of money. But hey, there are worse things in life. If you were actually Julian Edelman, you would be trying to make a broy football podcast in a world where New Heights exists. Julian Edelman looked at the success that the Kelsey brothers were having with their podcast and was like, well, I don't have a brother nearly as interesting as either Kelsey does. And I'm not as famous as either Kelsey. I wasn't as good at my position as either Kelsey. Nobody outside of New England knows who the fuck I am, and anyone who does hates me. I could do this! And, man, I wish I had the confidence in anything as Julian Edelman does. Good for you, Julian Edelman. Games with Names is, I think, the name of the podcast. I see clips from it on TikTok all the time. And listen, I'm shitting on Julian Edelman here a lot. There's a little New England sports fan in me who absolutely loves the idea that every week Julian Edelman puts out a podcast where he and some other guy whose name is only known to hardcore football diehards and New England Patriots fans, they just sit together on a couch and reminisce about their days playing for Bill Belichick. I eat that shit up with a spoon, but I'm from New England. I don't know how anyone who isn't from New England tolerates that shit. My suspicion is that they don't. But I eat that shit up with a spoon. Yes, please give me Julian Edelman, Troy Brown, and Matt Light sitting on a couch talking about Bill Belichick. I will listen to 6 90-second clips of that on TikTok interspersed between hot girl dances, clips from Mad Men, and that guy in England who's playing golf every day until he makes 18 pars in a row and has never broken more than 8 pars because he's actually bad at golf. That's my TikTok for you page, basically. Anyway, the Wordle could be light today. Could absolutely be light. It's not, but it could have been. It could be house or house, if you want to use it as a verb, but it's not. The different possible implications made it untenable as a word. Can't do it. It could be. It can't be vouch because I think that has a U. It's VOUCH, right? Is it? It's not VOWCH. No, that's not right. That's not how that word looks. That's how that word looks, which means that it can't be that because there's no U. So we shouldn't even try that. It could be... it's a good question. What could it be? It can't be month because we know there's no T. Kind of starting to think that it can't... And well, I guess it could end with an... No, there's no S. So it can't end in SH. Is it possible that the H isn't the last letter? And therefore is the third letter? Huh. That would be weird. It could be Dohan. Now, granted, Dohan may not be a word, but aside from that minor problem, oh, you know what it could? No, it can't be notch because there's no T, which is good because we don't need any more Minecraft billionaire Nazi guys on. Yeah, we don't need that. Anyway, can I just say, by the way, that I'm very glad that the gaming community as a general populace has largely ostracized notch, even though he tried very hard to become the eccentric billionaire. Good job. If I'm not a fan of certain Star Wars characters, I could say no Han. Which, listen, it sounds like Luke Skywalker throwing a party right before Return of the Jedi. Like, right before he realizes that Leia is his sister, he's still trying to get with her. So he's like, hey, Leia, I'm having some friends over. No Han. That sort of thing? No? Okay, fine. Fair. The hell is this word? It's a question to which I don't presently have an answer. Here are 5 letters we haven't used. Some of them are hopefully in the word. One of them is in the word. Good job, Goog. Well, it's not horse for several reasons. It could be mohar. Probably not mohor. It's not going to be abhor, because the O is the second letter. We know that. So, Sam feels like there's an obvious letter to consider that I'm not considering. I mean, can't be roach because there's no A. So what's the obvious letter to consider that I'm not considering? Is it a C to make a ch sound? Which, okay. It could be pooch. No, wait, there's an R. It could be porch. Could absolutely be porch. It's porch. Meh. And again, I'll say meh. Thank you, Sam. Let us draw some connections. We need to connect all of these words. Let's see. Well, papyrus and mummy are stereotypically Egyptian things. They did kind of write on clay tablets, but feels like a long way to go for something I'm not 100% sure of. So let's just keep in the back of our head that mummy and papyrus are stereotypically Egyptian things and see how that goes. Actually, hold on. Wax, parchment, papyrus, and one more of these are paper as well. Those are just like wax paper is paper and parchment is a type of paper. So, Sam has, had enough of my blathering and is just tossing out answers. Gift, talent, flair, and instinct. It means you have a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to a particular subject. Damn it! Maybe faculty instead of instinct? No. Also wrong. Well. All right. If you host, moderate, anchor, or present, that means you're the front guy on a TV show. There you go. You're the Will McAvoy of a hopefully less irritating program than what seems like Will McAvoy's program. So, if you have, I guess a burrito could be burrito wrapper. Doesn't make sense. Regis Philbin, Ryan Seacrest. Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy Fallon, if you want to be, bad at stuff. Annoying, infuriating, awful, shitty. Dumb fucked, bastard. NFT shilling fucko. You could be Jimmy Fallon. You could be Jimmy Fallon is the title of the episode. Because we love us some Jimmy Fallon, don't we? Laughing, talentless hack. Sunflower Space. Listen, Sam, my heart is enormous. It holds a great capacity for hatred. It's a little kernel of my soul that fucking despises Jimmy Fallon. Sunflower Space is looking at it from a rap perspective, which makes sense. You've got burrito, you've got gift wrap. Mummies are things that... A burrito, a mummy, and a gift are all things that get wrapped. And so does a sprain. You sprain your ankle, you're going to wrap it with a bandage. These are all things that get wrapped. Yeah, take that. Tangent. I'm just going to recap a tweet that I saw, but a tangent based on the memory of rap. So Barack Obama, former president of the United States, you may have heard of him. Every year he apparently releases, here's my favorite songs of the summer playlist. And one of those songs is Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, which is like the song of the summer. It's you've heard of it. It's the one about how Drake is a pedophile. And it's the one that was the culmination to the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. It's the one that has basically ethered Drake from the public consciousness. So that song is on Barack Obama's summer playlist. There's also a Drake song on Barack Obama's summer playlist. And, well, I don't want to put too fine a point on this because it is, after all, some rich guy reciting a list of songs he likes. Maybe. But I feel like building a playlist and then putting on it a song that is all about how Drake is an awful person and a pedophile that has become a marching anthem of the youth who are all regarding Drake as a pedophile. And then also putting a Drake song on your playlist, indicating that you haven't listened at all to the substance of the song about how Drake is a pedophile and/or are just trying to use the song about how Drake is a pedophile to gain the approval of the youth, and you don't actually care about any of the things in which they're interested. Well, that's a very President Barack Obama thing to do, isn't it? So, if you have, you know what, we were doing gift in all of these earlier when we were trying to think of, being good at something. It could just be instinct, flair, talent, and faculty. Could absolutely be that. That's natural ability. And then you've got wax, parchment, papyrus, and clay, I guess. So this isn't so much paper as things people write on, because clay's not paper. There you go. Okay. All right, connections. That's fine. So today's Strands theme is all that jazz, which means we need to find the X and then build saxophone from there, right? Right? What do you mean there's no X in the puzzle, and therefore no saxophone in the puzzle? Find that unbelievable. All right. New plan. Is it Chicago? It could be Chicago. Find a C and we build a cog. No. Well, I see a couple of C's, but none of them lead to any cogos. So, Again, I'll say, Let's just build some words for a second then. There's punk and... Oh, hi, funk. Oh, is this just music genres? Did I overthink it a little and it's just music genres? It appears to just be music genres. So, oops. Speaking of which, I do see genre right here. So, is there another genre? Is that half of a spangram? Find it interesting that we would see that. There are no C's. Subgenre. Oh. Subgenre. I see. Okay. Thank you, Sunflare Space. Here's Fusion. And, oh boy. It's cool. Cool is a subgenre. Okay. Is the gang also a subgenre, or is it just cool? I don't think you should be able to just use cool as a subgenre. Like, oh, I want to make this music, but we also want to make it cool. I don't think that works. But what do I know? I'm not the kind of person to serve as a music critic. Y'all heard how I described Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. It's not great. So here's Poor. Sunny sees Bebop, which brings up the obvious question, do you also see Rocksteady? Or no, just Bebop? Okay. This over here is definitely a word. Oh, ragtime. Yep. That's correct. Man, I'm bad at this today. I see a word, but that's not going to help me with anything. It's not swing. Oh, this is swing. This might be swing. Okay. And this is acid. And then there are only so many combinations of 5 letters one can put together here. One of them's got to have something. Sorry, modal. Modal. That's a subgenre. Okay. Sure. It's a word I've heard of. I'm aware of the existence of that word. Uh-huh. So for today's Immaculate Grid, we need White Sox, Diamondbacks, Twins, dudes what played first, second, and third base. All right. Let's go. A dude who played third base for the Diamondbacks is Evan Longoria. Dude who played third base for the White Sox is Joe Creedy. Dude who played third base for the Twins is Josh Donaldson? He might have only been a DH by the time he was there. Let's think of somebody else. A dude who played third base for the Twins is Miguel Sano. It's a true and accurate statement. Yeah. Sonny also found out that hot jazz is a thing, which, well, I apologize in advance, but I feel as though I must. Hot jazz. Okay. A dude who played second base for the Arizona Diamondbacks is Kelly Johnson. Played for fucking everybody. Dude who played second base for the Chicago White Sox is Gordon Beckham. That feels right. Gordon Beckham. Yeah, absolutely. Gordon Beckham. He was a Chicagoan for a time. Not a good time, but, you know, the Chicago White Sox. Dude who played second base for the Minnesota Twins is Chuck Knobloch, but we can probably do a little bit more obscure than that if we think about it for half a second. Dude who played second base for the Minnesota Twins is Luis Arraez, which, yeah. He didn't play it well or nothing, but he did. He did indeed play it. A dude who played first base for the Minnesota Twins is Kent Hrbek. Everybody remembers them some Kent Hrbek, right? Holy shit. Okay, so the populace of people who remember to play the Immaculate Grid early in the morning, because it's like 10 minutes to 8 on the East Coast, that populace of people is the hardcore sicko fan base of the Immaculate Grid. And the hardcore sicko fan base of the Immaculate Grid is dudes who are my age or ever so slightly older and remember Kent Hrbek on the Minnesota Twins. It probably also helps that the Twins have had like one good first baseman since Kent Hrbek, and it was Justin Morneau. So you're not going to say Justin Morneau. That's too obvious. So say Kent Hrbek. You know, I bet you Jim Thome played first base at some point for the Twins. Sam, I said good first baseman. Not good defensive first baseman. All around good first baseman. Listen, Doug Minkiewicz was a member of the 2004 Boston Red Sox and has not since turned into a Nazi, and therefore I will never say a legitimately bad thing about him for as long as I live. But Doug Minkiewicz does not count as a good first baseman. Let's be honest with ourselves. I bet you Jim Thome would have fit this top left square just because of interleague play. David Ortiz might have, because he was, I guess he would have, because he was only there for a year and it was his rookie year. He was very bad at defense, but it was probably the best he was ever going to be at defense. And the Red Sox played him at first a bunch. So yeah, David Ortiz probably would have fit. He was there. My narrative of David Ortiz is that he had 1 year in Minnesota and then they shipped him off to the Red Sox for some stupid reason. Apparently he had existed for several years. Oops. Incorrect. Factually incorrect statement I just made about David Ortiz. Sam, the facts you're telling me, you're laying out a narrative that involves David Ortiz playing in Major League Baseball in the 1990s, which I did not think happened. Oops. So an Arizona Diamondback who played first base is Mark Grace, but we can probably go a little bit more obscure than that. We could say Paul Goldschmidt. We could probably go a little bit more obscure than that. An Arizona Diamondback who played first base is Rubiel Durazo? Actually, kind of went from the most obvious guys in the world to holy shit, that feels like a deep cut. But I also think it's a correct and accurate statement that Rubiel Durazo played first base for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And lastly, a dude who played first base for the Chicago White Sox is Frank Thomas, but we can probably go a little bit more obscure than that. A dude who played first base for the Chicago White Sox is the aforementioned Jim Thome, but we can probably go a little bit more obscure than that. A dude who played first base for the Chicago White Sox is Jose Abreu, but we can probably go a little bit more obscure than that. A dude who played first base for the Chicago White Sox is... Actually, I'm going to have to think about this for a second. Who's the White Sox first baseman now? Not helping. The White Sox are so bad. Have they tried Gavin Sheets at first base yet? I think they're committed to him in right field, which, well, doesn't seem like a good idea, but the Chicago White Sox. So you remember that whole we can go a little bit more obscure than that? Maybe let's not go a little bit more obscure than that. Maybe let's just take the dub. Jose Abreu. Take the dub. Victory in the Immaculate Grid for me, the _Goog. Hooray! 7% of people who got that square right used Jose Abreu for it. That counts as kind of obscure. He's more obscure than Joe Creedy, which I wouldn't have guessed. But again, hardcore sickos time. Remember, hardcore sickos love them some Kent Hrbek and Joe Creedy, apparently. I don't think that's true, but, you know, hardcore baseball sickos. Who's to say? All right, folks, that is going to do it for us here today on the Immaculate Grid. There will be, hopefully, a great Ace Attorney Chronicles stream later this evening as we return. I will also be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock Eastern for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Thank you all, as always, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
In like 5 minutes, and I'm getting.
God, I know there's like a timer. Damn it!
I got you. I got you. Venus.
Oh my God! You killed them.